Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, starring obviously the legend, or I consider him a legend, and probably the currently best action star, you know, in the world, to be honest, considering not only what he's achieved, but he's just like, for me personally, like when you look at other action stars that sort of been around and sort of sometimes their careers fade out, he's sort of, you know, stayed at the top of his game, carrying on making movies like Mission Impossible, franchise and other films. He's come back to or stayed at the top of his game, and just, I think his personally just got better, and not faded out or, got worse as he got older. To me, he's just gone better and gone beyond, what he's capable of doing, and, just gone beyond, and setting the bar for other franchises and other movies to, push to that next level and take it up a notch higher and higher, and just, especially with these Mission Impossibles, adding more crazy stunts. And to me, he's just the best in the world, and just got better. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. I think he's nearly like, what is it, 58, 59, going as near to 60, and I'm 39, and he looks better than me. So, that just goes to show, he still looks good. In my opinion, still looks great, in great shape, but just really great. But as I said, Mission Impossible, that came out a couple of months ago, or a while ago. It was released. Went to see it once at the cinema. Thought it was really, really good. And then I just bought it recently on DVD. And yeah, it's just. Let's talk about positives first. It is good. Don't get me wrong. It is a really good action film. There's a lot of great moments. I think I sort of like the beginning, how it starts, and for the most part, I like the first hour and a half, which is pretty good. And then there's good few car chase scene, stunts involving vehicles, which is pretty good. And then towards the end, there's a really good stunt, Tom Cruise, an absolutely unbelievable stunt. I'm not sure if he actually did that stunt, to be honest, or whether it was a stunt double, whether it was, but yeah, really, really crazy stunt. Wouldn't be surprised if he did do it, because he does his own stuff pretty much, most of the stunts. Yeah. In the end, yeah, it's a pretty good finish. I do like a good finish to these big blockbuster films. I don't like it too much when the ending sort of sequence towards the end lets you down. And this was pretty good. I'm not sure if there was anything sort of. I mean, it was sort of newish, but it very much had a feel to it of sort of the first film. Where there's a scene on the train, on the underground. It had a very first film vibe to it, sort of that. It seemed like it was. Not sure if that was directed, his choice of doing that, to make it sort of quite similar to the first. I think there was a few scenes that were, I think, set where the first one was set in. So there was a lot of the first film vibe to this elements, and I think that was because of because it's approaching the end. Because I think we're only going to get one more. I think the part 2 is going to be the final one. I don't think there's going to be any more after that. I think that's going to be the very last one. So there won't be any more after that, I don't think. So I think they're sort of going back to sort of the first, because it's sort of like the last one before, it's the one before the last one. So I think they're sort of trying to take it back to how it all started, and revisiting certain locations and going over stuff from the beginning. And pretty much the vibe of this is about this key that's apparently supposed to open like the truth or entity, something that they were kept going on about. So basically, it's supposed to hold. No one exactly knows what it actually unlocks, to be honest, apart from them just saying about it as an entity or it unlocks the truth. I was thinking it's maybe going to unlock the truth about, Tom Cruise, his character, Ethan Hunt's, his characters, sort of why he's involved in all this, or sort of unlocks the truth of, what's he been involved in or something. I think it's probably going to be like a big finish of how it's all going to I'm sure it's all going to come full circle in the next film. I can't think of what honestly, I think they've done so much in these films now. And I actually thought, it was running on steam and done pretty much all that they could do. But, Tom obviously got more ideas up his sleeve. And there was sort of but there was sort of a lot of stuff. Well, we'll talk about the negatives when I've finished saying about this. Yeah, so anyway, it's supposed to unlock Creed, but the truth or something, maybe it's about his past or something. But I'm sure it's all going to come full circle. I'm going to be a big finish. I'm hoping it's going to be a big finish. I hope it's going to be a total letdown after watching all the films. Maybe one of the characters that died from the first film is going to come back, and it's going to be a big finish. But I think it's going to involve, obviously knowing, I don't know, maybe the truth of the whole Mission franchise or something. It's going to culminate into something big. You can just tell. Well, hopefully it won't be just a big disappointment, which won't be good. But yeah, we're going to find out what the Key's going to do in the next part. Not sure. I can't remember when the next part is going to be released. Not sure if it's next year or the year after. Can't remember, but definitely going to be looking forward to seeing how it all finishes. Been really enjoying the whole franchise, to be honest. I said just Tom's got better. I think the franchise has got bigger and better, to be honest. Really good. But I think the negatives about this is, with a lot of these films, they always say, because on it says the best action film of the year. I don't know about that at this stage, because there's been a lot of films so far, and there's still quite a few films. I don't know if it's going to be the best film of the year. It's going to be up there, sure. But I don't know. I have to go through all the other films and then see which one is the best. It might be a case of like top 10, 20 sort of situation. But as far as it goes, being sort of best one out of the franchise, I don't think so, to be honest. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Well, it's really good, and there's a lot of good moments. But I don't know, because there's, talking about the negatives of it, there's a few things that are sort of quite similar to what we've already seen, like in particular where he sort of, I know he likes to do his own stunts and just fly planes and drive around on motorbikes, but some of the scenes look a bit samey, and they were sort of said like he's done a few bike chase scenes where he's done bikes in the past. I think it's sort of in plane scenes and stuff, and there's obviously been a train scene before in the first film. And yeah, and there was also one scene that I think's quite similar to a scene in the Bourne Identity, where he's uh, Matt Damon and Jason Bourne's driving around in a Mini, and there's a chase scene, and there's a scene involving where he drives. I'm pretty sure it is a Mini, it's a small car chase scene, and it looked quite like it was taken from that. I'm not sure if that was intended to, or whether it's just a coincidence that was quite similar, but it looked that was taken from that, and they did that, but I'm not sure. Probably it's a situation where it's sort of, with these films where you've got the Mission Impossible franchise against franchises like James Bond and stuff. I think they try and always outdo each other with all these stunts, and this had a very sort of, I don't know, lean towards sort of a James Bond, where it's, yeah, I mean, it's obviously Mission Impossible and James Bond are two completely different things, but sometimes you don't know whether it's the Mission Impossible seems like a James Bond film with some of the scenes rather than a Mission Impossible. Sometimes it leans towards that, in my opinion. And as I said, yeah, negatives. Few scenes that did look similar in some ways. There was stuff that was new. Don't get me wrong, and a bit different. But some stuff maybe seen in previous films and other films that are not Mission Impossible films. So there was that. Also, I think they try and be, whether it's Tom's fault or not, they try and be a bit too perfect, and they want to get everything, just perfect and looking, perfect, like there's no mistakes. And then at times it feels like, sometimes you think, sometimes the hero or the main star is going to make a mistake or something. It feels like it feels at times it's too perfect, and there's not going to be anything going wrong, and you think, oh well, the villain's not going to really have much chance, because the hero's not making any mistakes, everything's perfect, and they're just, whatever the villains do, they're just not going to get near the heroes, because they're doing everything right, not making any mistakes, and you just think it just defeats the whole point of having villains, because if they're not going to stand any chance against them, you're not going to ever believe they're any possible threat. And yeah, sometimes it feels like they're trying, or the franchise is trying to be too perfect with everything they do. Even speaking or doing certain things, and it just feels, yeah. I think sometimes, I think there was a few things that went wrong. To be fair, but probably not enough. But maybe they don't make the villains tough enough. Always make the heroes so sort of superior and they're not going to make any mistakes, and sort of indestructible, and they're not going to die, they're always going to survive a plane crash, and they're not going to, the hero's always going to survive, and they seem to be always indestructible, and full well that the main star, Tom's not going to die, but the last one, maybe his character could die. We don't know what's going to happen at this stage. But it's going to be intriguing to see what's going to happen. And also, other negatives is it's probably too long. I think maybe the last one should have probably been longer, and I can understand that being not 2.5 hours, because it being the last one. But this, I don't think needed to be 2.5 hours. I think it's like the main running time's like 2 hours and 36 minutes, something like that. So once you take away the credits, like 2.5 hours. I think that's way too long. I think this shouldn't have been more longer than 2 hours, 2:10 maybe, 2 hours and 10 minutes. No longer than that. I think it was a bit too long. And also, yeah, so those what I talked about. And also, as I said, I do like the beginning and how it starts, and the ending is pretty good. The middle is there's moments where maybe the talking, expect there to be some talking storyline, but I think there's a bit during the middle, about the halfway mark, where there's a bit too much talking going on and not much happening. And yeah, but then it's sort of, yeah, but the middle end is pretty good. As I said, don't think it's as good as previous ones. I think maybe the last one was probably better, to be honest. I've pretty much liked that one and the one before last, so 5 and 6. 4 was pretty good as well, and I do like 3. And I actually do like Mission Impossible 2. Actually, I actually did like it better than the first one, to be honest, because it's more actiony, which is why it's more up my field action rather than. Don't get me wrong, the first one's still pretty good. It's still a classic. Yeah, and we'll just finish off by talking about so the last scene is pretty good stunt, but I don't know. I think the last one, the end sequence, was probably better, to be honest. The stunt was pretty good, but I don't know. I don't think it was as good as the fight in itself didn't seem to be that spectacular. The stunt was very, big, but the fight in itself at the end didn't seem that, that big of a finish. So I think the last one was the fight scene and sequence was better. But yeah, I mean, all in all, give or take, I mean, I'd give it maybe 7.5 out of 10. You have to take away the negatives and flaws. So maybe 7 and 8, 7.5, maybe 8 if I'm being kind. But taking away the negatives, too long, stuff that we've maybe already seen, being a bit too perfect, and not as good as previous films. But all in all, I'd say 7.5, maybe 8 from being generous. It's certainly not perfect. It's good, and I definitely would recommend it. But I think because of the time, I think you're less likely, because I watch these films over and over again, but I think I'm less keen to watch it again because it's 2.5 hours, and sometimes it's just not, sometimes it's just not 2.5 hours to sit there all in one go and watch a film that's 2.5 hours. Sometimes I think 2 is probably more than enough. To sit there for 2.5 hours and not, do anything else, or is a bit much. But all in all, pretty good, but just not perfect. So guys, I think that's going to be pretty much it. Probably longer than what I expected to be, but I wanted to do a good review on this and my thoughts. So guys, hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys next video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. See you soon.